What's up, y'all? Y'all tuning in to Mikey 215. We keep it being as always. We in the middle of week two, NFL week two. Tomorrow, Sunday, 4 o'clock. We got the Eagles versus the Chiefs. Before I even talk about that matchup, it's a few things I want to talk about regarding the NFC so far. Um, First things first, I want to get on the Commanders. Bro, I've been telling people this all summer, all off season. They are overrated. They are a bunch of pump fakers over there in Washington, like complete pump fakers. I blame that fan base for pumping that team up to think that they're something that they're not. Now, granted, Jaden Daniels is nice. I'm not gonna play him or anything like that. He's nice, but they putting him on this pedestal of like this great player already, and it was way too early. It was just one season. I do think he will be good in the long run, but they were a little bit too hype. And that's how you can tell when it's a fan base that's not used to having nothing. They're not used to no type of success. They just hype just to be here. They just hype just to finally be in the club, just to finally be seen. And that's what they get. They look horrible against the Green Bay Packers. Granted, Green Bay do look nice, but they look bad. The defense look bad. They look old. The offense didn't look explosive. Jaden Daniels out there getting chased by Michael Parsons like he was Craig and Diddy getting chased down by Chico. Like that's exactly what it looked like. Um, what else? Just the overall Commanders team don't look good to me. I don't see them having the same season that they had last season. They might be still competitive. I'll give them that, but that old ass roster they got is no way in hell that Commanders fans really think that they can go to a Super Bowl with that roster like that. That is a old, worn down, tired roster. You got 47-year-old um, Bobby Wagner. You got 55-year-old. Dang, what's the pass rusher they just got? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. He definitely gonna be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name. Damn, he, dang. Oh, Von Miller, 57-year-old Von Miller. You got washed up Marshawn Lattimore. It just looked bad out there for them boys. Um, and like I said, I blame their fan base for being overly hyped, too Joe, too just like talking way too much. But that's what's going on over there with them. They're trash. Like I said, the Commanders would be competitive, but I don't really see them getting really lucky like that, like they did last season. But yeah, they didn't look as good as the fans thought they were gonna look, and that's their fault, and that's what they get. Like I said, for being hyped, they need to really calm down and come back. Come back just a little bit where they came from, because a lot of them came from under a rock. All of a sudden last year when they started winning, I don't know where all these Commanders fans came from, but whatever. I ain't really gonna spend too much time on them. Um, but like I said about Green Bay, they look nice. I ain't gonna lie, Green Bay look nice. They look like they got a different aura with them. And like I said, it's only 2 weeks, but right now they starting up hot, so I respect it. The defense look good. Michael Parsons look like he got a battery in his back, and he's not even getting 100% of the snaps. Like they're still, easing him into the defense, and he's already making an impact just 2 games in. So, shout out to the Green Bay Packers. They doing good. We'll see if they can keep it up. Um, and the rest of the NFC, I don't really got no opinions on them right now. We'll see what the Lions do. We'll see what the Vikings continue to do. Teams like that. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that for the rest of the NFC. I gotta see more. Now back to this matchup with Eagles Chiefs tomorrow. So this game is big. I think the NFL is trying to test the Eagles the first month of the season because these are 4 big matchups. You got Cowboys, Chiefs, then after that Rams and Bucks. These are all 4 teams who got smoke with the Eagles, and these are all 4 teams that could potentially make the playoffs. Of course, Chiefs, Rams, Buccaneers, Cowboys, a little so-so. Don't really know, but this game right here is going to be big. The Chiefs do not want to go 0-2. They don't feel like losing their home opener to a team that just whooped their ass in the Super Bowl. So they're going to try and pull out all the stops tomorrow. They're going to try their hardest. They're going to play their asses off. So the Eagles, they got to be prepared. Our new offensive coordinator, Petula, he has to be more prepared. He has to open the passing game up a little bit more. Like I said, I gave him grace because it's week one. I'm not really going to trip too much about that. But he has to open the passing game up. He has to use Saquon Barkley a little bit more than just run him up the gut. That was annoying me in week one. That was like, you don't got to keep running him up the gut. Get him a toss, run him on the outside, stretches, mix it up a little bit. I'm expecting him to do that this week. I'm expecting him to open up the passing game, continue to use the running back screens. I like that. I like that he was using that. And, pretty much just and let Jalen pick up where he left off from week one. I think Jalen going to be cool. And I do expect A.J. Brown to have a big game. Y'all know how this thing go. 1 week, Smitty don't have no catches. Next week, he go off. Next 1 week, A.J. Brown don't have none, and he go off. You know how it go. Especially with Goddard being out, so the ball should be able to get spread around with our receiving core. I'm expecting it to be spread around. This is the Chiefs on the road, so they're gonna have to, you know, try to attack Spags' defense as much as possible because he's gonna try to attack that offense. They got a chip on their shoulder. They try and prove a point. You know what I mean? Like to make up for that ass whooping in the Super Bowl. Now, granted, nothing would change it. Super Bowl it happened. It's done. But this game is going to be their measuring stick to see if they can, get their season. And I know it's early, but to get their season, still on track and not start 0-2. So the Eagles got to go in there focused. Yes, the Chiefs are wounded animal, but they got to understand that it is still the Chiefs, it is still Andy Reid, and it is still Patrick Mahomes. So they got to go in there understanding that, which they will. I think Sirianni, Hurts, that whole entire Eagles team, they're very in tune with what will be going on. So they already know that. I'm just saying that just to say it. But yeah, I expect they just go in there prepared. I'm expecting them to go ahead and open up the passing game a little bit more. So I'm not really gonna trip too much about the offense. I think the offense will be cool. Defensive side of the ball, I'm hearing that Vic Fangio is starting with Dory Jackson. I don't know if that's smoke and mirrors or what. I mean, I guess maybe he sees something in him. Maybe he feels like he can make up for week one. I don't know what he see. I'm not a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I can't really speak too much on that. All I can speak on is what I see. And I ain't like what I seen from Vic, not Vic, but from Adoree Jackson in week one. I know, like, he looked like he was lost. He was getting spent like a top. You know what I mean? I don't know. I did want to see Bennett out there, but like I said, and Vic Fangio we trust. So maybe he sees something that we don't see. Maybe he believe in him. So we got to give it another week. I think 2 weeks is enough. If he go out there and get burnt and get cooked again, that's a problem. They're going to have to figure that out because you ain't about to go play the Rams next week with that same corner that's out there getting burnt. We ain't doing that. So, yeah, that's pretty much the only hole I see in the defense. I think the pass rush would be better, especially with Jaden Carter actually playing in this game. Thankfully, he is not suspended. Yeah, I think the defense should be cool. Like I said, I like the rookies, Makuba, Campbell, paired up with Zach Bond. I don't really have an issue with the defense. I think they're going to catch on. They're going to be better than week one. And like I said, they shut the Cowboys down in the second half. The Cowboys didn't score no points. So how bad was the defense? Because to me, the defense played good last week. And I expect them to play better this week, especially with Carter finally back in the mix for this 2025 season. So yeah, oh yeah, by the way, I really need this defense. I know it's week one. Enough with the drop picks, enough with the ball getting tipped in the air, and it's 3 Eagles DBs right there, and nobody coming with the pick. Pick that ball off. They're going to have to pick Mahomes off like a lot in this game. Now, Mahomes don't give up too many picks, but whatever you get, you got to catch it. You got to pick it off. Do not drop those picks tomorrow. They can't afford that tomorrow, okay? But yeah, that's pretty much all I really got to say too much about this matchup. Talk a little more tomorrow. Give a little post game after the game, maybe Monday morning or Sunday night, or whatever I get the chance to. But I just wanted to tap in with y'all for a little bit. But in the meantime, y'all be safe. Go Birds. Talk to y'all soon.